western flip. Remember, Stone Age culture, here in the Tidewater, it's quartzite is the best stone that you have to work with. It makes a grainy edge, it doesn't hold an edge very well, easily broken.
Called Tidewater too?
Well, as far as Pelican's concerned.
So that's what I meant. Everything east of the James.
Yeah, from the...
or east of the fall line.
On the falls of all the big rivers. But northward on the upper Womack River, we call it Womack. South is the Great Bismarck Swamp. And then roughly where Interstate 95 runs following the fall line. And then east, person on the Pelican, each group seems to have had various beauties within the Weyanoke seems to be a middleman in Pelican culture for the shell trade and then the Maddox because their territories straddle the Okanagan River. Primarily going back to the Okanagan.
Where's Okanagan today?
It's under the Third Dam Reservoir, Rose Island. But there, Midwest, copper was coming in. That was probably coming down from the north, down to the Red Warriors Pass, Route 11. You got to go down. Quartzite's not valuable anywhere except here in the Tidewater. It's the only stone you have to work with. But you can trade these valuable mostly for workable stone like greenstone. Actually, either be mapped into ore, ground, and polished. Now, it's done. I'm grinding that one down to the pads.
Blacksmith and set that to buy all the stuff that's owed to baker and set that to buy all the stuff that's owed to farmer. And then he'll go through, and the farmer is owed, X amount of tobacco, so he'll pull that from wherever it's coming from. Then he'll go through and find the baker, he does the same thing. Then he goes through and he gets the blacksmith. And lo and behold, he comes to Lindsay's check and he goes, okay, Lindsay owes, and he takes a pound of tobacco out of Lindsay's account and he puts it in my account. Because cash is useless to us here. Again, the nearest store is 3,000 miles away. So that's kind of how we're working over here during this period. Eventually, we'll get into the point where we've got cash that we can work with. And we'll get a little bit better up in there. A little bit more heat. Once I get the heat going up there, good. Here. So what other questions do you guys have for the blacksmith?
The usual net wood
It's going to vary, but mainly it's hardware. Handles and hooks and hinges, and all the little things. And like I say, for whatever reason, are not practical to ship back here.
How many tools did you need at a minimum?
At a minimum, I need fire, I need anvil, I need a hammer, and I need a pair of tongs. That is the absolute minimum I can work with. If I have those items, I can pretty much make anything else I need. I'm not making an anvil. It's not happening. There's specialists who do that. Same thing with a hammer.
Guys came from foundry.
Yeah, that's going to come from an anvil smith. You guys have read Dickens, that area of London known as Hammersmiths. Guess what they make there? And guess who makes them? Not Hammersmiths. Yes, ma'am.
hold off an Indian attack for 2 weeks. Sometimes they were being attacked, but basically until someone came to their aid by herself using a musket like this, firing from home. So normally women did not go out and put on armor and fight with the men, but a lot of people in Virginia wanted to learn how for that very reason, to protect themselves.
And remember, in 1611 through 1613, it was only there was 300 men here in Sir Thomas Dale.
Right.
It was all men.
Just mostly men. There were a few women in Jamestown, but maybe, that's why in 1619 they actually had a time when they tried to bring a lot more women over, because there weren't many. Of course, there was lots of women. There were lots of native women.
Yeah. So,
But not many English women.
what do you guys think?
What do you think? This is pretty neat, the way they fire the muskets. You like that? You think when you grow up you're going to join our militia here, come down here and fire these muskets?
Not one thing.
Sergeant, do you think you can find some jackets so these people will not be cold while they're here? Do you think you need a coat? Do you think you need something to keep yourself warm? Your clothes are somewhat skimpy.
Sir, we have a couple of wool blankets.
Some wool blankets we can put them up.
I have my doublet I could put on you guys. My doublet. Actually, a jacket is called a doublet.
This is a singlet.
That's a singlet. This is a singlet. This is a doublet.
This is a jerkin. This is mainly to keep me from firing my musket. Now there's a story also about the wide collar. Some people say that sometimes their hair got so greasy that this collar would actually protect. You could wash it more easily to protect your doublet from getting dirty with your hair. The jerkin was made out of leather to protect me from that very type of burn. You saw the one gentleman who had to burn. This will not burn very easily. So this protects my doublet and my singlet from getting burned while we're firing.
Cool stuff. Actually, I'm pretty much sitting right now because I'm not wearing my doublet. That's normally expected to me. Now, one thing that is completely... Now, if I'm working, maybe if I'm in the field and it's a hot day like this, they say, yeah, you can take off your doublet. But it is never okay to remove your hat. Never.
Have you ever heard of a wetsuit? You know what divers use and what... Well, this is what I'm wearing is a little bit like that, only backwards. Basically, what happens is that because this shirt is linen, I will sweat into it, and my shirt will get wet. And actually, even though it seems like I'm wearing a lot of clothes, and I would actually be a lot cooler if I was wearing what you're wearing, I still am somewhat cooled by the sweat and the moisture in my clothing.
And that's actually what we rely on a lot of the time. I'm actually sweating a lot right now. And what happens is that it becomes saturated. Your clothes become so saturated that literally they act as if
I've got that you cannot get in the mountain. See any of those here? See any of that? Yeah. Which one?
I'm not sure.
fairly large. They're not an auger. Get the name of the animal. They got a little bit of texture to them. See that? White stain. This is the cheap stuff because it doesn't get a lot of work. This is a little bit more valuable. Most of the shell is white. So white is less expensive than the dark color. This is still peak because it doesn't take much. These are actually surf polished. The beach back and forth in the sand. And the only working part of this is drilling the hole. That little stone tip drill.
So why do
They can't get it in the mountains. I have it.
But what are they going to do?
They're going to do the same thing they do with metallic material.
Oh, okay.
And then the growing jewelry takes a lot of work. Grinding, polishing, drilling. That's more expensive. You take these coastal products out to Okanichi, and they will exchange things. One of these things I'm not going to take is stone. They have plenty of stone, and the difference is the stone we have here, the best stone is quartzite, and it's difficult to work with. Go ahead and handle that. It's kind of warm being in the sun, and it's difficult to work with. It's a grainy texture, so it doesn't hold an edge very well. So I'm not going to take that. Nobody else is going to want to use it because we have to. It's the best thing we got. But there, west of here, you can get flint. This is a similar tool made with flint. More glassy, easier to work. Makes a sharper edge, holds its edge longer. So you can trade these shell items for that.
So you'd use flint
Flint?
arrowheads?
You know, because it's a luxury item that you have to buy. You see it in small flakes. I have my drill, which I didn't bring today, is tipped with flint. It's a very small point. There's actually a thumb drill. Rose quartz pipe with flint. Small bits of it. Expensive, high quality tools.
Do they attach that to something else?
That
Or
one,
do you just
no,
use it
you
with your
use it just in hand. I have a drill point that's attached to a shaft. Collected arrowheads, or seen arrowhead collections.
You'd like to come on over here. This gentleman's just starting to show about the musket here. Start out, first thing you do is you have to open your pan. You take a very fine grade of gunpowder, pour it in there, close it up, blow it off, clean it off, cast it about, and you notice that these bottles are, sometimes they're called apostles, but brain damage. Bandoliers, thank you. And they fit right in. You pour a pre-measured amount, which is drilled out for exactly the right amount of powder. Pull out your ramrod. This is the metal one. Down you go. Tap it. Put your lead bullet in, or ball, as it would be, and which is a little smaller than everything else. Bring it around. And now these are lit. They're on fire, and you have to keep these going in the rain and whatever. And you put it into the holder of the serpentine, and then you check it, make sure that it goes right down into the pan, and then as you're moving towards the front of the line, your commander will give you the command to present, and you present and give fire, and then you would fire, take everything apart, go around, get back in line, and start again. And you hope the 5 guys in front of you didn't get killed. Or you didn't. Want to try it? Mr. Italy? Is it heavy enough for you? Actually, keep it there, and the next guy would come up and lay on it and fire. But I guess they wanted you to keep them with you because they had strings on them. And you took them. Stayed with you. I still feel like that Ron's going to show you now another way they would use this musket once you totally ran out of powder. And I feel like it looks more dangerous like that than any other way. Well, this is what, of course, our illustrious commander would want us to do. He would want us now, in all our courage, to give the command, he would give the command, club your weapon. So now it's become this. I personally like the command of get back on the boat and go home. So, but this is the last command. Club your weapon, just go and swing. And a lot of the battles ended up that way, particularly in Europe, because everybody has muskets. And powders would start running out about the same time.
So why the English were the superpower at the time with the longbows? Why wouldn't you have a squad of riflemen backed up by a squad of longbows?
Well, one is they had bows and arrows in the New World. They kept them in Bermuda. They did not want the Native Americans to find out about metal arrows, bodkins, big bows. Because one of the reasons is that it would take 2 weeks to learn how to fire this weapon. It would take an English bowman 3 or 4 years to become proficient. And they were excellent. They were the edge. They were what to be feared. And it did not want the Native Americans to know how to bow. The bodkins would go in and you pull the arrow out. The bodkin would stay in. The surgeon would have to go in to take it out. So it was pretty deadly. Also, too, there is evidence that some crossbows were made, but I know that the Spaniards brought them here, and they found in Jamestown areas crossbow bolts and things like that, which were used to alter. But really, by this period of time, because of the use of armor, as armor becomes stronger, especially the horsemen, bow was very rarely used. There was something called three-armed man, where it would show a man with a pike, a sword, and a bow. And they think it's just a myth. They don't really think anyone's ever actually out to fight like that. Because once again, it took so long to train a man. The English had some of the best sailors in the world. The Spaniards had the best engines. So you really had to be good at what you were doing to go up against the Spaniards.
I read an article that said that somewhere in England, Scotland, that they outlawed golf because it took away too much time from archery class.
Yep. Maybe that's why I'm such a bad shot.